I'm going to be showing you how to get all the collectibles in the Arkham hub world area within LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start this one off with a side quest. This one's called Mr. Defrosty, and it's going to be found at the entrance of the Arkham area if you're coming from Amusement Mile. And for this one, Mr. Freeze is going to be waiting for you here in the middle of the dirt road, so we're going to wave our hand in front of him to activate this side quest. So we're going to have to follow him around just a little bit up the side of this cliff, and eventually he's going to lead you to a cave entrance, but it's going to be blocked off by some security, and on the left side there's going to be one of those techno panels. So we're going to switch over to a tech-savvy character like Batman, then hit the arrow keys in the order that it shows you, and once you do that you'll be inside the cave, and there's going to be this little Mr. Freeze lab inside with an electrical panel at the central computer. So we're going to switch over to a character that can charge those up like Grid, and once we get it charged up there's going to be a brief cutscene. It's going to power on his cryo freezing chambers. He's going to talk to you for a bit, but once he gets done you will unlock Mr. Freeze as a playable character. Switching over to a race now. This one's going to be called Riding Out of the Dark, and it's going to be located on the right side of the Arkham hub world area. And so this race starts on the side of this cliff, and you will need a bike vehicle. So we're going to pull up the vehicle roster, and you can spawn in any bike. We're going to spawn in a Red Hood's motorbike for this one. And so once that spawns in, you can hop on and start the race. So this one's going to be a 40-second race, so definitely one of the shorter ones in this game. And you have to go through 15 different checkpoint rings. And this one's basically just going to drive you through this cave system on the way over to Metropolis. And once you get to the entrance, that'll be it. And once you go through all 15 of those rings, you will unlock Harley Quinn's bike as a playable vehicle. Next is going to be a side quest. This one's called Do Blame It on the Sunshine, and it's going to be found on the right side of the Arkham area near the front entrance if you're coming from Amusement Mile. And for this one we have Bizarro giving us the side quest, so we're going to wave our hand in front of him to start this one. And this one's going to be pretty time consuming because he's going to have you go around pretty much the entire open world and gather different pieces of sunscreen. I think the story behind it is he's like trying to block out Superman's power with sunscreen or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But the first one's going to be here in the Amusement Mile area. This next one's going to be in the Gotham area, kind of on the outskirts there. Then over here near Wayne Island at the Lighthouse Island is going to be another piece of sunscreen. And luckily for this, the game does show you the exact location of each one. Some of them are going to be inside buildings like this one here, kind of hidden behind that little cabinet thing there. So that's going to be 4 out of 10. And yeah, unlike some of the other side quests, it doesn't just show you the location on the map, it actually points you to exactly where each piece is, so that makes things a little bit easier. Right there, I thought this one was going to be in the Batcave, but no, it's actually behind Wayne Manor on the beach area. And so now we've gathered a 5 out of 10, that's halfway done. So now we're going to move over here to East Gotham and gather another little piece of sunscreen. And the bottle for it looks kind of weird on the left side. It's like a little stick. It almost looks like a deodorant stick in this game, but it is supposed to be sunscreen. This next one's going to be over here in this beach area towards the bottom of Metropolis. And I believe there's going to be 2 more in Metropolis, then 1 more in Smallville. Over here on the right side, sitting next to that bench, is going to be another one. Over here on the north side of Metropolis, next to that park, is going to be number 9. And then the last one is going to be in Smallville. So we're going to fly all the way up here. I guess the swamp area is like one of the only areas that didn't have any piece of sunscreen. And this one's going to be found in the Smallville gas station. So we're going to walk in there and pick that up. So now that we have all 10, we can fly all the way back over to the Arkham area, which actually takes a while to get to. You got to go through Metropolis, Smallville, go through this long cave system, and now we're back here where Bizarro is. We're going to wave our hand in front of him, and he's going to talk to us for a bit, as these side quests always go. But once he gets done talking, we will unlock Bizarro as a playable character. Now it's time for the first gold brick here in Arkham. This one's going to be called Mansion Mystery. It's going to be found on the north side of Arkham. And so there's going to be this mansion, and just to the right there's going to be this garden. This is actually where the quest is going to end, but if you walk just to the left there's going to be a graffiti wall here. So we're going to switch to a character that can use those, like the Joker, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, anybody like that. Spray some graffiti on that to reveal one of these sensing zones. So we're going to switch over to Batman, use his detective vision, and there's going to be an arrow that's pointing up. So that's going to tell you where to go next. So we're going to switch over to a flying character who can get to the roof of this building. I think there's a ladder on the side as well that you can use. Once you get up here, use the sensing ability again to reveal a couple more arrows. Just keep following them, and eventually they're going to lead you back over to the garden where we started. Then there's going to be another one of these detective areas that Batman can use. So we're just going to follow this trail around, and once we reach the end, he'll start digging up the gold brick for Mansion Mystery. Next is another gold brick. This one's called Cleaning Out the Sewers, and it's going to be found on the north side of Arkham, just to the south of the large mansion building. And once we arrive here, there's going to be a couple of those bouncing pads on the nearby trees. So with that, we know that there's going to be an aiming pad nearby. So if we destroy some of these nearby objects, we will get that buildable aiming pad. So then we can switch over to a character like Deadshot, or in this case, I'm going to use Batman. And we just have to aim the Batarang on each of these pads, and it's going to bounce off into that little sewer area back there. I believe you have to do it one of each side. So you have to hit the right side. Then we're going to hit the left side one, and once you bounce off both of those different platforms, it'll cause the gold brick to pop out of the sewers. Then you can just walk on over there and grab the gold brick for cleaning out the sewers. Switching over to a side quest now. This one's called Hitting the Mark, and this one's going to be located near the middle of the Arkham area. And this one involves the Green Arrow character giving us a quest. And this also counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge. So that's the challenge where you have to go around the city and play several different minigames. This is one of those minigames. Once we get done talking to him, there's going to be an arrow turret over here that we can hop on by tapping the Y button. And so the goal here is to get 300 points by shooting all the different targets. There's going to be some red targets mixed in there that make you lose points, but honestly, there should be enough white ones that you should easily be able to get 300 points. And what you do, he'll talk to you and you will unlock Green Arrow as a playable character. Now we're going to do another gold brick. This one's called A Grave Mistake, and it's going to be found near the middle of the Arkham area. And so once you arrive here, there's going to be this little graveyard area. There's going to be several headstones aligned in a maze formation. So what we have to do is switch over to the Riddler, or anybody that can hypnotize characters. And so we're going to take control of this NPC, and we just have to navigate the maze by hitting different switches on the ground, which are going to lower some of the headstones. That'll allow you to navigate through the maze. And once you hit, 4 or 5 of these switches, you'll make it to this woman that's kind of hiding over here in the maze. She'll start talking a little bit. And once she gets done talking, you will unlock the gold brick for A Grave Mistake. Next up is a side quest. This one's called Lost Lore. It's going to be found near the middle of Arkham, a little bit to the north, near the mansion. And once we arrive here, this character named Silver Banshee will be waiting for us. So we're going to wave our hand in front of her. She's a very Arkham-looking character that really fits this kind of Halloween-esque area. But she's going to be looking for an ancient book. And so this is going to be one of those side quests where you have to go around and talk to 5 different NPCs. They're each going to give you a little bit of information about the whereabouts of that ancient book. And then once we do that, we will report back to Silver Banshee with our findings. So here's the first one, kind of on the north western side of Arkham. So we're going to talk to him. He's going to give us our first hint. If we travel a little bit down here, there's going to be another NPC that we can talk to. She's going to talk about a weird book, so that clue sounds pretty helpful. And so now we're going to continue down here to the next character. This one's going to talk for quite a bit and give us another helpful clue. And so once she gets done talking, we'll just have to find a couple more. We're going to move over here to this one to the right. It can be a little challenging to find some of these just because this entire foresty area all looks kind of similar. It all blends together. But just keep referring back to the map, and you should be able to find them. Here is the next one coming up. I kept looking back and forth on the map because I knew I was close. There he is. So we're going to talk to him. He's going to talk about how the woods are spooky. He's not really going to help us too much. Then over here towards the east, there's going to be one more NPC that we can talk to. And we're getting close here to him. Where is he going to be? I think he's near the graveyard, just outside the graveyard area. And I'm looking around. It can be hard, like even when you see them on the map, you still won't be able to find their exact location. And there he is. All right, so we're going to talk to him, but he's not going to have any helpful information for us. But once we've gathered all 5 clues, now we're going to make our way back over to Silver Banshee. And so you're going to have 5 different options for each of those NPCs. So first one's going to be the one that begins with "There's definitely not." That's one of the 2 correct answers. Then the next one's going to be there is an unreadable book, blah, blah, blah. And that'll be the 2 correct clues. If you select one of the wrong ones, it's okay. You can just select the next one next time. It's just a process of elimination. But the side quest isn't over yet, because now we have to escort Silver Banshee over to the ancient book. And there's not any enemies that pop out or anything like this, so we're literally just following her around and waiting for her to get to the ancient book. So it's going to be near this grave site. And once we get to the book, she's going to talk for a bit. And then once she gets done talking, which does take a while, you will finally unlock Silver Banshee as a playable character. Next up is going to be a gold brick. This one's called It's Awake. And it's going to be found in the northwestern side of Arkham at this giant windmill building. And this one's pretty cool. So we're going to head inside, and this is going to be where Frankenstein is being created. But we have to power up Frankenstein's machine here. So to do that, we're going to have to head to the top of this windmill building. So we're going to use a flying character to fly up here. Grid is always a good choice just because he has so many different abilities. In the back here, there's going to be an electrical panel. So we're going to charge that up using Grid or live wire, anybody like that. That's going to cause this laser to start firing. And then there's going to be this yellow wheel that we can spin. So we're going to spin that around. And once that's done, we can now head down to where Frankenstein was again. So this is going to shoot some lasers into those crystals, powering up all these different computers down here. And so once we get down there, there's going to be a little passcode basically that we have to type in. And so to figure out what the code is, if you look at the nearby chalkboard, you can see it there on the left, there's different symbols. And so basically you're just going to hit the levers to form those different symbols in the same order that it shows them on the chalkboard. So you can see on the far right, there's like the skull and bones. On the left, there's just like a Lego face. And then the one in the middle is what looks like a bomb logo. And so once you have those 3 symbols in that order, it'll cause Frankenstein to awake, and he's just going to run away, where we may counter him again a little bit later on in this video. But he will leave behind a gold brick for It's Awake. Next, we're going to tackle a side quest. This one's called Diamonds Aren't Forever. I see what they did there. And this one's going to be found in the top left corner of Arkham behind the big windmill building. And once we arrive here, this character named Eclipso is going to be waiting for us. So we're going to wave our hand in front of him, and he's going to be trapped in this black diamond, and that's the goal of this side quest, is to get him out of it. So to do that, we're going to have to fire a laser beam at it. So just over here to the right, there's going to be an electrical panel. So we're going to charge that up using Grid. That's going to charge up this laser, and I tried to start deflecting the laser towards Eclipso, but you can't do it just yet because you actually need to build a Lego object on his diamond first. So I used Wonder Woman, but then there's this little headstone that we can destroy, which is going to give you a buildable Lego object, which is like the object that receives the laser. And so now we're going to use Wonder Woman to reflect the laser into the black diamond. And once that breaks, we can talk to Eclipso. He's going to be happy that he's free, and you will unlock him as a playable character. Alright, next up is going to be a gold brick, and this one's called Big Jump Breakout. And it's going to be found on the south side of Arkham. So once you get to this large cliff side here, there's going to be this character that I think is based on Evil Knievel talking to you. And so there's a few different things you got to do here. So first off, there's going to be an electrical panel that you can charge up using a character like Grid. And so once that is charged, over here on the right side, behind the NPC, there's going to be a destructible Lego object, which you can build into a ramp that we're going to go off here in just a second. And next we need to put the wheels on the bike. So to do that, what we have to do is start shooting at the wheels. That'll cause them to break off, and then we can switch over to a telekinetic character. I think I'm going to use Constantine for this one, and use his telekinetic abilities to pick up these different wheels and put them into place. There's then going to be a brief cutscene of this Evil Knievel character talking. Then we can hop on the bike, and the game will automatically display a cutscene of you jumping off the ramp, and it'll give you the gold brick for Big Jump Breakout. So next we have a gold brick called Handsome Feller, and it's going to be found near the middle of the Arkham area in kind of the foresty section. And so once we arrive here, right away you're going to notice a gold Lego object holding up this box. So we're going to switch over to a character that can destroy that, like Grid or Superman. And that's going to give you a buildable Lego object, which is going to get built into a Green Lantern pad here on the ground. So we're going to switch over to Green Lantern, Sinestro, anybody like that, and hold the B or circle button, depending on what console you're on. It's going to form this giant axe, which is going to cut down the tree, and then you can grab the gold brick for Handsome Feller. Next up is a race. This one's called Driving to the Theme Park. and this one's going to be found on the left side of Arkham, right at the front entrance to the asylum itself. And so once you arrive here, this race is going to allow for pretty much any vehicle type for the most part. So what we're going to do is pull up the vehicle roster, and we're going to spawn in a cop car for this one. But again, you can use a lot of different options here. So we're going to hop in and start the race. It'll count down, and for this one we have a 1 minute and 10-second time limit in order to get through 20 different checkpoint markers here. So what we're doing here is just driving all the way to the amusement mile area of the open world. And so we're going to have to drive through this cave system, and this one's pretty straightforward just because there's no traffic, so you're pretty much just driving straight through all the rings, and once you get done, you will unlock Catwoman's bike as a playable vehicle. Okay, next up is a gold brick, and this one's called Who Guards the Guards, and it's going to be found on the left side of Arkham, and this one's actually going to be inside Arkham Asylum itself. So we're going to fly up here to the front entrance, and how you get inside is you just spin that yellow wheel, the doors will open up, and you'll be in. There's going to be a brief cutscene setting this one up, so this criminal is going to be trapped, and we have to get him out. There's just going to be a lot of steps in order to do that. So there's a little bit of leeway in what order you do this in, but this is the order that I did it. So over here on the left side, there's going to be some plants that you can control using a character like Poison Ivy. So we're going to cause these plants to grow up here to the second floor, which is going to bust open that jail cell, giving us some Lego objects that we're going to interact with a little bit later. And also, that's going to give you this buildable object on the ground, which is going to allow you to reflect some lasers. And then up here on the second floor, there's going to be this telekinetic Lego object that we can pick up using a character like Constantine or Gorilla Grodd. And we're just going to place that on the wall there. And so we're going to come back to that jail cell here in a bit. And now we're going to move on over here to the right side. And there's going to be a lever that we can just jump on to pull that down. That's going to open up this jail cell. And once you get inside, there's going to be a telekinetic balloon in the background. So we're going to use Constantine on that. That's going to cause some electricity to flow. And there's basically 4 power lines that we're powering up. So that's going to be number 1 out of 4. And so with that, we're going to head back down to the first floor, back to where those plants are. And this time we're going to cause Poison Ivy's plants to retreat down back into the earth. That'll allow us to get into this first jail cell on the left side where this laser beam's shooting out. Then we can use a character that can reflect laser beams like Constantine or Wonder Woman to reflect it into this power socket on the back wall there. And that'll be number 2 out of 4. And so once we have that done, we can head up here to the second floor. And on the left side, there is an electrical panel in this jail cell. And so we're going to power that up using a character like Grid, and that'll be number 3 out of 4. So once you get 3 of those power lines, it's going to open up this jail cell, which is going to have a couple Joker henchmen inside. So we need to recruit those guys now. So we're going to switch over to the Joker and just tap the B or circle button on each one of them, and that will recruit them over to your side, and that'll allow you to pull on these 3 grapple hook points all at the same time, opening up this last jail cell. Inside this cell, there's going to be one of these super speed treadmills, so we're going to switch over to reverse flash, mash that X or square button, and then we're going to be in this purple speed portal area where you have to go around and collect 10 different Lego objects. Once you collect all 10, the reverse flash will build this electrical panel of some sort, which is going to power the 4th power line. And so now with all 4 of them powered up, we can finally access this computer using a tech-savvy character. So we're going to use Malcolm Merlin. And basically there's going to be a passcode that we need to input. Well, it's right there on the screen. It says 12341 there at the bottom of the computer. So what you have to do is just type in those numbers in that exact order, 12341. I think I originally started typing it in wrong, but eventually I got it right. And once you do that in the correct order, a little smiley face will appear on the screen. The criminal will be set free, and then it'll give you the gold brick for Who Guards the Guards. Continuing on with another gold brick, this one's called Arkham Breakout number 1098138. Wow, what a mouthful that one is. But it's going to be found on the left side of Arkham. It's actually going to be on the back side of the Arkham Asylum building itself. And once you fly back here, there's going to be this criminal trying to escape, but he's going to need some assistance in order to do that. So what we're going to do is switch over to a character like the Riddler and mind control him. And what we're going to do is cause him to jump down on each of these platforms, just follow the trail of studs. And once you get him down to this lower level of the Arkham rooftop, he'll be all proud of himself, acting like he did it himself. And then there's going to be a security team waiting for him. So we're going to take care of these enemies. I think there's like 4 or 5 different security guards here. And so we're going to make short work of them using the Riddler. Here's the last one over here. And once we take them out, we're then going to have to mind control this guy again. So this time we're going to have to cause him to jump across kind of the side of the Arkham Asylum building here. And if you do fall, he'll just restart at the beginning, so you can just try again. Like right there, I fell, and he respawned right next to where I had to do that platforming. So no big deal if you do fall. So he can double jump, by the way, which is kind of cool. And so now we're just going to navigate across these different zip lines here. And once we get over here to this ladder, we're going to be on the next part of the Arkham Asylum rooftop. And he's going to make it there, and there's going to be yet another security team waiting for him. So now we need to make sure our characters are over there where he is. So we're going to switch over to a flying character like Superman just to get over there a little bit easier so we don't have to do all that platforming all over again with our own playable character. And we're just going to take care of all of these different security guards. There's like 4 or 5 of them again. And once you do, you can then mind control this guy one more time to finally get him to escape Arkham Asylum. So we're going to jump off the roof here, and there's going to be a zip line that we can go down. And once you go down the zip line, he will be home free out of Arkham Asylum. And he's going to talk about some stuff that he buried. He's going to walk over here, and inside his buried treasure chest is going to be a gold brick for Arkham Breakout 1098138. Next is yet another gold brick. This one's called Arkham Assets, and it's going to be located on the left side of the Arkham area, just beneath the Arkham Asylum building. And so once we arrive here, there's going to be this courtyard area, and in the middle is a treasure chest with 3 different power lines going from it. So we just have to follow those in order to get this chest open. So for the first one, it's going to be located super close nearby. It's going to be a Batarang switch on the wall, so we can just throw a Batarang at that with Batman, and that'll power that one up. To the right, there's going to be another one that'll power that one up. That leaves one more remaining. This is the hardest one to find. So what we have to do is drop down here and make our way over here to the left side where this massive cliff is. On the outside wall is the final switch, so we're going to throw a Batarang at that. Once all 3 are powered up, it'll open up the chest, giving you access to the gold brick. So now we just have to make our way back up there and grab the gold brick for Arkham Assets. Next, we're going to do the final race here in Arkham, and this one's called Gliding Through the Forest. And it's going to be found on the left side of Arkham on the rooftop of Arkham Asylum, which is really high up. So we're going to fly all the way up here, and we won't be able to start the race right away because it does require a gliding character. So we're going to switch over to Batman to start this one up. And as with any of the gliding races in this game, all you have to do is start the race with someone like Batman, and then once it's started, you can actually switch over to a character like Superman and just fly through all these rings, kind of cheat your way through the race if you want to. But for the purposes of this guide, we are going to do it the legit way with Batman. So we're just going to fly through all these different rings. Make sure to get some momentum so you can fly up just a little bit when needed. And once you fly through 15 rings in 1 minute 15 seconds, which should be easy to do, you will unlock the Riddler's Dragster as a playable vehicle. Lastly, here in Arkham, there's a boss fight. This one's called Frankenstein Fisticuffs, and it's going to be found on the north end of Arkham beneath the mansion building. So if you fly in front of the mansion, you might notice this secret passageway underneath. So we're going to take that down, and it's going to lead to a secret laboratory where Frankenstein is waiting to do a boss fight. So you might remember him from one of the previous gold bricks that we did. Well, now he's back. And so this boss fight's pretty easy. He doesn't have too much invincibility frames, so you can just keep wailing on him with a character like Superman because he's invincible, so you don't have to worry about taking damage. So just keep punching him as much as possible, and eventually he'll go down. And once he does, you'll take this little picture, and you will unlock Frankenstein as a playable character. So guys, that's going to do it for all the side quests and collectibles in the Arkham Hub World area here in LEGO DC Supervillains. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.